How do you maintain a heart of love, how do you maintain loving kindness when you're facing just utter destruction, as both of these wonderful people have?
I think it is one of the toughest questions that you have to face when you posit a good and a loving God. But I think we are affected so by all kinds of things around us. I've had the quite incredible privilege of being involved with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa. And many times devastated by the revelations that some of the perpetrators made. Which made you say, how could anyone sink so low? Like, we gave him drugged coffee, we shot him in the head, and we burnt his body. And it takes 7-8 hours for a human body to burn. And so whilst the body is burning here, we're having a barbecue here and drinking beer. And you're aware that it says about each one of us that we have an incredible capacity for evil. And we really ought to keep saying when we see someone perform a ghastly deed, indeed, yes, there, but for the grace of God, go I. But what was so incredibly exhilarating was to sit there and listen to people who had suffered grievously. People who ought to have been consumed by bitterness and anger and a lust for revenge. And we would sit there and hear people speak words of amazing generosity. When people would, when you thought they were going to explode, have a deep compassion for that other. And you realized, hey, yeah, we do have this awful capacity for evil, but we also have an extraordinary capacity for good. That, I mean, we, quite amazingly, all of us have this gift being created. You know, we are created for goodness. I mean, that we are created for transcendence. That we were created almost as the ultimate paradox. The finite created for the infinite. You and I and all of us are those who are made for God. That only God can ultimately satisfy us. And you walk around and you say, hey, I'm a God carrier. And that's a God carrier. We're all God carriers.
Thank you. Good. God.
let me just tell these people about Your Holiness. Just one little thing. Yeah. The reason all of us come really is to follow up on what I've said. I mean, we see here an incarnation of goodness. I mean, in all of us, our hearts just leap, and we feel so warm seeing you. He said, "What? How can you, 50 years into exile, still maintain this bubbling joyousness?" And I've said, actually, he's quite mischievous too. I mean, and I've sometimes said to him, the cameras are on us. Try to behave like a holy man.
I didn't hear it. Yeah, okay. Great. Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it seems to see that all religions, different sort of names, due to different philosophy, but ultimately, everyone in deep inside some kind of goodness. So I think that's important to realize, and useful in many cases. Someone completely sort of lost hope, and recognize that, remember that, can sustain hope. Completely sort of demoralized, again remember that, hopeful. Then others who create some negative thing that looks 100% negative, and lost temper, these things, anger, hatred, these things. And such case also is remember the other also that ultimately they are goodness. And then that negative feeling will, I think, reduce, cool down. So that's, I think, Buddhists call Buddha nature, Buddha seed. I think that's all, and those are the theistic religious tradition. After all, everything created by God. So there is some kind of, I don't know what proper sort of word, I don't know. Oh, some kind of essence, or divine essence, right? It's everywhere. So, one time, one of my Muslim friend, or rather Muslim, I think, priest, told me, as a true Muslim, you should love as much as sort of love towards entire creature. All creatures, as much you are loved to God. I think there's a different word, different way of presentation, but the same meaning, infinite altruism, which Buddhists say. Same. So different philosophy, different because of the, what's say, costume or robes. But I think same essence. This is, I truly believe. But of course, in the philosophical field, if you go, philosophical field, or a lot of argument, I have to argue with you. But really, important is the essence. That really helpful in our day-to-day life. It's a philosophical, different interpretation, different sort of explanation. It's supposed to support that essence. Essential teaching, isn't it? Like that. My boss.